Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Right, in just over 3 hours' time, we're going to have 6 abnormal skins appearing on the Steam market. That being the Abyss Tier 3, Infernal Door, Smouldering Sleeping Bag, El Diablo Wooden Door, and the MP Nana. Yes, these 6 skins will become marketable exactly in about 3 hours' time, almost. And, well, in the meantime, we're going to sit here and we're going to figure out some decent prices to offer for all of these. We're going to try and build up some context. What potentially might happen in the near future? Will these collections potentially grow even further? You get the idea. We're just trying to figure out how things are likely going to be in the near future. So we've got to figure out and incorporate that into what we might suggest for prices to offer for these skins. So we also need to then start figuring out what prices we might want to offer the non-abnormal skins, the regular skins. These 2 skins right here, the road sign gloves and the anime AR, these 2 skins will only become marketable tomorrow when the Rust store rotates. When that happens, then we can do our buy orders. And you are probably well aware that I've been talking about the Pirate Collection for quite some time. I'm sure some of you have already seen the likes of my recent Pirate Collection Part 4, Oversaturation and Consequences. Well, with all of the Pirate Collections selling at quite a high amount, there's a lot of them on the Steam market now. So that's going to be an interesting discussion point as well. But we're going to put all of that aside. There's one quick thing that I want to do because, unfortunately, I missed out on a skin on my recent Rust Workshop skin check, so I'm just going to quickly do Mr. Sean Mick a favour. I'm going to go talk about his skin right now. So, very sorry about what happened, Mr. Sean Mick. Sean Mick made this Molten sheet metal door. Get a good look at that. This is the regular one. As you can see here, his design is as all this liquid metal has been melted on the panelling here. Very nice, very cool, interesting looking design, but it comes in 3 different versions. This is the regular one. Here, this is the transparent version. Yes, you notice that panelling here? Well, now you can see through it. Now you can see through it, as you can see there. You can see the light through it. You can see this in the background. We don't have many transparent sheet metal doors, and it's a bit risky to do this, but remember, skin creators are allowed to upload variations and alternate versions of their skins, so as long as it's still specifically the same skin, just with a bit of a texture change. And of course, with this transparent version, he also decided, let's do a glow-in-the-dark version. I don't think the glow-in-the-dark version is also transparent. No, it's not. So yes, this also comes as a transparent version. So if you happen to like what you see, please consider going to the workshop. You can see this in my collection now. It's in the Rust. It's now in the collection that you see in the Rust Workshop skin checks video. So sorry about that, Sean Mick. I hope that was helpful to you. And guys, if you like what you see, please consider voting yes or no. Right. And you notice here, what's that? What's this all about? It's a little teaser for something we're going to be discussing a little bit later. Right. So now that we got that out of the way, shall we proceed to figure out what we might want to offer for these 6 abnormal skins? Right then, people. Okay. What's going on, guys? Are you telling me that there is something currently going on? CS2? We'll worry about that in a bit. Looks like there's going to be a CS2 update coming out for some more CS2 maps. But I'm a Rust skin enjoyer, and I'm here to talk about Rust skins, alright? Yeah, guys, save that for later, alright? We'll do this for the next 20 minutes. Okay, so Abyss Tier 3. Let's get this out of the way. 26,500 sales for the face mask at the moment. 25,400 sales for the chest plate. Don't worry about this too much. Clearly, people like the face mask a whole lot more in terms of demand. You can notice that because there's more sales. I get the feeling people are probably just wearing this mask independently from the chest plate with other skin sets and whatnot. It's a cool looking mask, and I'm not surprised people like it. It's very unique compared to a lot of the skins we've seen so far this year. So, pretty cool design there, Mr. Little Ranger. Now, how many of you were keeping an eye on the workshop? How many of you were a little bit disappointed when you noticed that Little Ranger did not submit an Abyss skin this week? That is unfortunate. It is what it is. We saw this Alien Furnace instead. But guys, honestly, we've seen this kind of situation before with Little Ranger. You might notice last year Little Ranger submitted and had his Dragon Rage collection accepted. And have you actually gone and seen the spacing between all the core pieces? So if we go take a look at the likes of this, started off with the hoodie and pants, sold at $2.49 here and $1.99 here. And as you can see, this is now selling $8.65 and $5 here. Oh, wow, very interesting. But yeah, this was accepted halfway through March of 2022. 2 weeks later, we saw this Tier 3 being accepted, and then about a month later, we saw this Tier 2 being accepted. So what's that? Hoodie pants, Tier 3, Tier 2. I think I accidentally said Tier 2. Anyway, moving on. You get the idea. This was spaced out, and that was partly because Little Ranger spaced it out as well. So I am fully in the belief that Little Ranger will be submitting a hoodie and pants or tier 2 for Abyss collection this next weekend. So keep an eye out for that. Just because we didn't see the Abyss skins appearing immediately this week doesn't necessarily mean we won't be seeing it next week or the week after, alright? They did say in the workshop comments that they plan to continue the set. And why wouldn't they? It sells nicely. People clearly like it. There is demand. And, you know, a very successful skin creator would clearly continue with that, wouldn't they? So I still believe we will be seeing core pieces at some point down the line. With that, I'm still fully in the belief these are perfectly fine in terms of investments. Now, based on what I see with the demand, first thing I notice is if you want a nice quick comparison of the difference between a face mask and a chest plate, we do have the likes of the Skull Killer set. Last year, Skull Killer collection started off with tier 3 as well, and we did see the likes of Skull Killer face masks selling about 1,000 to 2,000 extra sales compared to its chest plate. Well, as you can see with the current demand, there's less quantity and a higher price here compared to the likes of the chest plate. Chest plate isn't exactly struggling, it just didn't do as good in terms of the face mask. Face mask quite clearly was more in demand. And this is something that you might see pretty much happening with the exact same scenario with the likes of these two skins here. So don't be a bit too surprised that one of the pieces has more interest compared to the other one. This doesn't mean that this chest plate is doomed. It's just the face mask could really go with various other things. And, you know, sharp teeth, very scary and goofy looking. People like it. Right, so prices. What might we want to offer for this? I feel like there's a fairly strong chance we will be seeing at least one more core piece being accepted. And with that, I'm pretty confident that we could probably put down some decent buy orders on these skins. So for the likes of the face mask, with the amount of sales that it had, that's not insane. That is not an insane amount of sales. From what we've seen fairly recently, especially with what we saw during June, the amount of sales that this face mask has is not, like, detrimental. I think this is perfectly and sweetly fine. Prices that I'm going to suggest are, I might go between $1.50 to $2.10 for this face mask. And for the chest plate, I think I'm going to do $1.20 to $1.60. Alright? I am going to go pretty close with it. I want to be able to buy them at a point where I could still potentially sell them for a profit, but I still want to be fairly close to it. And I do feel like we are going to be seeing more core pieces being shown off from the workshop soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are going to be accepted. So I think we're probably going to be confident with this collection. Maybe I might put my prices up a little bit higher. Maybe I want to be a bit more aggressive. Yes, I'll probably be more likely to actually buy them in terms of being more putting down a more aggressive price, but I feel somewhat confident that we will be seeing more of this collection. If you kind of sit back a bit from the top, on the top of your head right now, how many active collections can you think of right now that we are looking forward to? The only collections I can really think of, if you've been keeping an eye on the workshop, is Concentric and Space Foil. Okay, yeah. So I think Abyss collection probably will be doing quite all right. I think. Well, we'll talk more about that in a minute, don't you worry. So, yes, I think we're going to be pushing it pretty close to it. And I think this weekend we will be seeing a continuation of these skins. So, feeling positive, and just understand Little Ranger himself will be taking his time to release all these new core pieces. So, yeah, once we see this next new core piece, and if it were to be accepted, it's going to be the exact same thing, guys. Don't worry too much, but we probably won't see another skin being submitted from this collection for at least another 2 or so weeks. That is to be expected. If you are aware, if you are patient, everything will work out all right. And you've got to be aware of this. There's other people out there in the world that are investing in these skins, and they're not patient. They are impatient. So you've got to be kind of careful with the prices you offer. With that, let's move on. Infernal Door. Very goofy nacho cheese, melty cheese door. Yep. Problem is, it's a sheet metal door. We see far too many sheet metal door skins being submitted and accepted every single week. And it's unfortunately a curse. So, quite literally about a month ago, we were sitting here, we were looking at the likes of the Sunken Door. Yes, I keep mentioning it all the time, but when you go take a look at the downfall that it suffered with, it's unfortunately pretty bad. And I can give you a very, very easy example of what happened. So basically, this came out, cool looking door, but there wasn't enough barter support to really help it out, and there wasn't really enough interest to help it out, and it went from $2.49 to 98 cents. Here we have the Inferno door. Looks really cool. Probably a lot of people noticed it and thought, you know what, I'd rather not have this anymore. I'd rather have this nacho cheese melted door. So that's what they did. They went and bought that instead. They got a nice glow-in-the-dark door. This has taken up all the attention. This has lost it. It's struggling now because of that. But guys, don't you think we might see another very interesting glow-in-the-dark door at some point this year? I wouldn't be surprised. And you know what? I could actually give you an example. Earlier this week, I made a video. I made a video called Rust Complete the Sets 2023 ? A skin submission montage. And basically in this video, which will probably start immediately, there we are, you will notice there is a whole bunch of skins here. The basis for this video was, I think we're going to be seeing a Complete the Sets in September. And with that, I went through many interesting skins from notable collections that weren't accepted this year that very likely could be candidates for that future Complete the Sets. And there was a sheet metal door, and that is the glow-in-the-dark porcelain sheet metal door. Do you remember this? Do you remember this? Guys, that's a very cool, wonderful piece of art that glows in the dark. Do you reckon that's going to take away all the attention from the Infernal door? I feel fairly confident we're going to see that being accepted if we do have a Complete the Sets this year. And now you understand. Everybody will look at that and think, oh wow, I want that instead, and they might ditch their Infernal door. And if you're invested into the Infernal door, you now realise, oh no. So you do understand these problems. We keep seeing sheet metal doors being accepted. It's kind of like the AK really. With far too many options, the prices struggle. So now that you're aware of potential things where this could go wrong for this door, yeah. We got 184 in total. Sheet metal doors have been skinnable for a very long time. Rust has been around for a very long time. So the price that I'm going to offer to this, 90 cents to $1.20. Maybe not even that. Maybe because I've seen the sunken door not do very well, I might go a bit lower. 80 cents to $1.10. 80 cents to $1.10. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Because I just don't feel super confident in this door, unfortunately. It sold quite a lot. A lot of people clearly bought it because they like the sight of it. But I'm just being aware of what's likely to happen over the course of the next month or so. We saw it happen to the sunken door. I worry it very likely might happen to that door as well. So personally, I'm going to offer 80 cents to $1.10. That's what I'm going to do. If you feel it might work out well, it might rebound in the future or whatnot, feel free to offer a higher price. But I know what I'm offering. Sounds good? Let's move on. Smouldering sleeping bag. So we haven't been seeing that many sleeping bags this year. If I were to take a look real quick, as you can see, I think we've had 5, 4. What? How many? How many have we had? We've had 5. Okay. So last year we had 8 in total. So far this year we've had 5. I swear we used to see a whole lot more. 12. Sleeping bag skins seem to be having a bit of a drought. That's weird. And the glow-in-the-dark options we've had so far this year, Fireflies, it's a bit awkward. The sleeping bag from Hell, I still think will rebound, as I've told you many times. From Hell skins act very weirdly. Throughout the year, they struggle, they go down by like 20%, and then around post-Christmas time, suddenly everybody wants it, and then all of them go up in the positive. Very strange behaviour. So the main point I'm trying to get across to you is the glow-in-the-dark sleeping bag here. This is currently selling at $2.49. It's not the most appealing looking design, however, it's still very helpful. In the early game, in the early stages of having your base, you're not going to have light sources immediately. You're not going to have electricity set up, and a glow-in-the-dark deployable is definitely going to help you out in regards to being able to navigate around your base. Whether it's storages, rugs, you name it, they're going to be helpful. So that sleeping bag could be beneficial to a lot of people. You might not be a fan of its design. That's fine. Smouldering collection as a whole isn't exactly doing super great, unfortunately. Maybe we might see some more smouldering skins being accepted. Could happen. But overall, I'm not 100% confident in it, but I could see it potentially turning a leaf and going in the positive at some point down the line. So personally, I'm going to offer between $1 to $1.50. I do think it's still reasonably helpful, but I just don't imagine it's going to be holding its value of $2.49. So, yeah, perfectly fine for what it is, but that's the price I'm going to be offering. That's my suggestion. Then we have the El Diablo wooden door. Very nice looking design. I wouldn't be surprised if we potentially see El Diablo sheet metal door, armored door, maybe some double doors. Totally fine. Garage door, yeah. But a wooden door? Yeah. Well, these are in the positive, but they came out like 6 years ago, 2018. There's only about 1,000 of those that exist. We scroll up and look at the most recent ones, and you will notice that the vast majority of the ones that came out in the past 2 years are not doing very well. Even the cool-looking glow-in-the-dark ones like the Molten Visage or the Spray Can. Is Spray Can glow-in-the-dark? No, it's not. This one is Smouldering Door. Oh, well, look, Smouldering Door. down 53%. Friendly Wooden Door, down 42%. Yeah, so cool design. I don't imagine it's going to hold though, unfortunately. Maybe it's going to be exactly like the Molten Visage Wooden Door. This went down by 34%, so 34% of this. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe it's going to sit at around $1.50, something like that. So personally, I think I'm just going to do 80 cents to $1.10. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Cool looking door, but I just don't imagine it's going to be retaining that $2.49 price. Much like all of the other wooden doors that came up recently, not doing very well. Then we have the MP Nana. I like the banana skins, I really do, but I just don't think the MP5 is going to be doing any good. Why? Because it's an MP5. MP5s have dropped off, MP5s aren't in favour, the meta, blah, 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 you get the idea. MP5s aren't doing very well at the moment. That right there, it's currently selling at $2.49. All you got to do is take a look at all of these MP5 skins that have come out over the past 2 years, and you'll notice something. Yes, all of them are in a negative. JPEG MP5 is kind of weird at the moment. I'm not sure what's going on there. But anyway, all of the MP5s except the Blackout MP5 are in the negative, and they're down between 30 to 50%. A lot of them down to around $1, basically. They have dropped off ever since the recall update of June 2022. Yeah, I've said this more than enough times. You get the idea by now. It's the weapon itself. If people aren't actively wanting to use the weapon, why on earth would they want to have skins? And therefore, low demand for the skins, lower skin prices. MP5s used to be very in demand before because they obviously weren't nerfed, and with that, all of the skins used to be in the positive. Very desirable, but this is what happens when Face Punch tweaks the guns and kind of makes a mess of it. It used to be exactly like the Thompson. All the Thompson skins usually are in the positive, and MP5s were like neck and neck with them. But ever since that recall update, these suffered. So that is very unfortunate, isn't it? And now we're going to go ahead and talk about the likes of the regular skins. So we have the... Okay, let's just get this out of the way. See this AK-47 here? It doesn't stand out like very much. It's got a style. It's got a style to it. Yeah, I can respect that. But honestly, it doesn't really stand out much. There's no real like texture there. It's doomed to 70 cents to 90 cents as a buy order. You just know how it is by now. If the skin itself, if the AK skin never really stands out and makes itself look unique, it's probably got no chance. So again, you just take a look at all the ones that came out in the past year, and you'll notice that there is a lot of AKs in a negative, sitting at around $1. And as you might notice, quite a lot of the AKs are down by 50%. So 42, 50, 30, 50, 65, 50, 40, 59, 46. Yeah, they're all kind of sitting at around or close to about $1 because people would probably rather just turn them into metal. So this right here, 70 cents to 90 cents, it's kind of plain. It's the best way of putting it. So now they've got that out of the way, here we have the Pirate Roadside Gloves. Now, I have made a bit of a discussion about the Pirate Collection. Pirate Collection has been kind of a bit weird these past few days. Well, now this is going up, apparently. But yeah, because all of them got bought out by so many people buying them in excess and whatnot, there is a lot of them on the Steam market. Right now, I can see there's 411 of these face masks on the Steam market, 118 of chest plates, 466 of the pantaloons, the 404 of the hoodies, 513 of the kilts, 150 of the vests, and 232 of these helmets, all on the Steam market at the same time. We haven't even talked about the likes of how many of them on third-party sites. So with so many people buying them with a pure intent to sell, leads to loads of people listing these on the Steam market, and if loads of people are listing on the Steam market, they might end up undercutting each other, and slowly the value of the skin goes down. Basically, it's an issue between demand and stock, and if there's too much stock, we have the excess stock, and the excess stock gets thrown on the Steam market, gets thrown on third-party sites. It unfortunately badly affects the overall value of the skin. So Pirate Roadside Gloves currently has a lot less sales compared to all of these skins, but then again, how many of you are actively using Roadside Gloves? I don't think it matters too much. Overall, Roadside Glove skins, they tend to retain their value. As you can see here, the vast majority of these Roadside Gloves, there's 30 of them, there's one here, there's two here, there's 3 and the 4, there's 4 skins that are in the negative out of 30. And we have had quite a lot of skins sell quite a lot as well. So you got 28,000 there, 20,000 here. Have we had anything recently do very, very high? 33,476 here. Still in the positive. So yeah, I think the Pirate Red Sun gloves potentially could still hold their value. Will they become an insane profit as time goes on? I don't think so. These are reliable to retain your value. If you need to spend some money and want to get your money back again at a later point in the year or next year, I think these are perfectly fine to buy. As a bond, for example, as a bond. But in terms of, this versus these, which would potentially have a better chance of making a much better profit, I'd say these have better potential because, of course, new core pieces on the horizon, if they were to be seen in the workshop, or, even better, accepted, all the better, these will spike in demand, spike in price. What is there to help this spike in demand, spike in price? Maybe the jacket. And we'll talk about that in a second because I think we're done now. With this, I will sit here and say, you probably could just go ahead and buy them. All right? If you desperately want them, just buy them. Why does he say this? Because with every single pirate skin that we've seen, and the vast majority of them being, so more specifically the core pieces, so tier 3, hoodie and pants, and tier 2, all of these that were regular, because earlier the vest wasn't, it was abnormal, they all sold for 99 cents in the Rust store, and the very second they became marketable, they had buy orders instantly going all the way up to 99 cents and $1 and slightly above. So, yeah, you could just try and do a buy order. You could try your best. But you might have to wait for a very long time until you actually see yourself buying any. I will sit here and say you could just do both. Buy some and then also make attempts to try and see if you could actually get some on buy order. That's an option. But yeah, if you actively just wanted some, you could just go buy some. If you actively want to try and do a buy order, honestly, best of luck, but you will be waiting. So yeah, that's my answer to that. This is still perfectly fine to go ahead and buy. And with that, we've essentially talked about everything here, all 8 skins. We've got that all nice and covered. And now I could probably talk about what we could potentially see tomorrow, because tomorrow is August Force Wipe. August Force Wipe is going to be very interesting because, of course, I have been talking about this fairly recently. All the European kids now are having summer vacation. They are having summer holidays along with the American children. And with that, we very likely will beat last month's peak player count. July Force Wipe had 182,000 peak players. Tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised if we get very close to it or even surpass it. With loads of kids now playing, we're going to be seeing a lot more people playing the game, a lot more people potentially being invested in wanting skins, and therefore skin prices could potentially go up because the demand is increasing. This is a nice thing to look forward to. So, what could potentially get picked tomorrow? It's going to be a lot of brick skins. So, if you weren't fully aware, tomorrow we're going to see the brick DLC being introduced, the brick building DLC. So, with a lot of deplorables here, we got the likes of the brick large boxes. Get a good look at this. Yep. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if we see potentially this. Oh, what about the furnaces? Here we are. So get a good look at this. Brick furnace. Yep, you're going to see a lot of brick skins tomorrow. Oh, brick barricade. Hell yeah. I love me a barricade. Yep. We've also got this porcelain rug. Guys, honestly, it's a work of art. You're going to want to buy that and put that on your wall. 100%, and it glows in the dark. Wow, look at that. The glow in the dark is amazing. Vase, Hanushka, that is a wonderful piece of work. Plus, it has a little brick house on there as well. Cool. So, wouldn't be surprised if that gets accepted. You've got a various amount of doors. Here's Freddy's brick door. Wouldn't be surprised if the brick door is accepted. You might know Freddy for making the likes of the Adobe sheet metal door. That was accepted, wasn't it? So, it's essentially the same style, isn't it? It's the same style of photo, isn't it? But yeah, wouldn't be surprised if that potentially gets accepted. So some things seem fairly obvious, but one thing that I'm a bit not 100% sure on is what could potentially be picked for a weapon or a tool. I think the drill hammer looked really cool. You know what? Brickwork and whatnot. A drill hammer? Yeah. So this is drill jackhammer to be precise. So that looked really cool. Got some decent looking weapons, but there is a potential that we might see. So let's just hop back over to here. When it comes to clothing and armor this week, there's not that much standing out. You got some primitive skins. You got the Cactus collection trying to continue from that furnace. Thermo collection trying to get a start. Maybe you might see Frog cosplay hide shirt and pants. Maybe Dark Rose. So yeah, let's just get through all this, and then we get to the likes of Concentric collection continuing. Yeah, maybe. Let's not rule it out. But it does compete with the likes of this Leshy camo suit. I don't think this would be allowed because we just don't really see that many green camouflage skins being accepted. We've had Reptile Hunter already this year, so I'm not super confident about that. You do have Reptile Hunter gloves and boots, although we did recently just have the Pirate Road Sun gloves. Maybe not, not sure. Rare Flame could potentially appear. That could happen, maybe. Or Space Foil Tier 3. So are you on Team Concentric or are you on Team Space Foil? Whose side are you on? Yeah! You might have Hollow Kitty or Piggy face mask, but I'm not really sure. If you don't think any of these skins could potentially be accepted, maybe we might see another early pick, and there's something very notable. We have, if I just scroll down, so this is my collection from the Rust Workshop skin checks, 101 skins. Please consider watching my Rust Workshop skin checks videos. As I scroll down, as you can see, oh yeah, there's Concentric Tier 3, but no, if I just quickly go up to here, you can see, we might see this skip ahead. This is the Pirate Jacket. Guys, do you reckon we potentially might have the Pirate Jacket appear at an earlier time, as an early pick? Face Punch knows, that would sell a lot, wouldn't they? And with loads of people potentially turning up tomorrow to play for the August 4 swipe, maybe that is exactly what will happen. So, something on the horizon, potentially. There's also something else that could potentially appear as an early pick. And now we go back over to these MP5s. Why did I have this here? Why were we looking at this Blackout MP5? Because a certain MP5 was submitted just a couple of days ago, and that is the Redemption MP5. And you might be wondering, well, what's going on? What's all this about? You do know this MP5 right here has the exact type of transparency as the Blackout, right? Ooh. And what makes the Blackout MP5 the only MP5 to be in the positive compared to all of the other MP5 skins? The transparency. Ooh. Well, plus it's also part of the Blackout collection. But anyway, moving on. Yeah. You might potentially see this being listed tomorrow. And you know a lot of people will realise this has the same transparency as the Blackout. And you know a lot of people will probably buy that. $3 again, like all of the other Redemption skins? Sure. Will it sell a lot? Yes. Yes, it will. So, yeah, because we're going to be seeing a lot of people tomorrow, I would expect some very interesting skins to be accepted. How big will the Rust store be tomorrow? That's another question. 10 skins at the very least would be interesting, but you should expect by default maybe 3 or 4 brick-themed skins to be added. But when it comes to clothing and armour, I'm unsure. We might not see any clothing and armour skins. We might see a very late pick, potentially. That could happen. There's a lot of things that are on the horizon. But at the very least, I will sit here and say I expect an early Rust or rotation tomorrow. So I can reference this based on UK time. Usually, for every 4 swipe, there's the update comes out at 7 o'clock in the evening in the UK. You should be aware of that, right? I reckon about an hour before that, we potentially could see the likes of the rotation happening. So between 6 to 7 in the evening in the UK, that is when I expect the update, the Rust rotation to potentially happen. Maybe even earlier. You got to be prepared, and that's why I'm bringing this all up now. So if you're wondering when the Rust rotation might happen tomorrow, I fully expect it to be an early Rust rotation because we have an update coming out of all of this. I'm sure you understand that now, and that is the usual routine for a 4 swipe. So we've talked about expectations, we've talked about timings, we've figured out all the prices. Shall we proceed to the actual buy orders? The abnormal buy orders. Gentlemen, let us proceed. Right then, so here we are. Yeah, we've got 6 skins. I'm starting off with the face mask. I can't speak. Face mask, chest plate, door. Wait, that's lowercase. Hang on a minute. No, my eyes are deceiving me. I'm being stupid. Right, okay, so it's one of those days, isn't it? One of those days. Come on. Here we are. Right, so I'm going to do this. And then over to here, we have this. What was I doing for this one? Yeah, I'm just going to do that. And then we got the door. Now the door, what did I say? 80 cents. Oh, yeah, unfortunately it does look like that's going to be the case. And then we got these other skins, which people probably don't have. Well, what I'll probably do there is I'll quickly hop over to here, do my second account. Right, so the higher price buy order. I think people have already attacked that. Yep, look at that. Woohoo! Screw it. I guess I'll go a little bit bolder, a little bit higher. So I'll probably go to 1.8. Is that too high? I have no idea, but I certainly would like them. And then over to here, 1.47, 1.4. I'll go 1.45. Wait, what was the price I suggested doing? Up to 1.6. I think I'll just probably commit to doing 1.4 then. Yeah. And then, yeah, the other skins aren't appearing. Oh, here it is. Here's the other one. 1.1. What's that in my currency? It's like 85. That's just over $1. This guy's already doing that. Yeah, I'll probably just go like here, 0.81, and then 40, and whatever happens, happens. Will it hold? We shall see. So some other skins are still yet to appear. I don't know how long they'll take, so what I'll do is I'll just skip ahead and we'll talk about the abnormal builder support. So, and we're back. Hello. Right, so it's been just over 9 minutes. As you can see, these skin prices are now being noticed, except that one for some reason. But let's go take a look at those skins. Let's see the abnormal barter support. So, the Abyss face mask has about 4,000 requests to buy. Cool. And it's got buy orders going all the way up to $2.30. Cool. So, this means at the current moment, it does look like a skin that probably would be it looks like it's fine to buy. Like, looking at all of this, you got a 1,500 buy order, that's fine. You got loads of buy orders going all the way up to $2, that's fine. You got loads of buy orders above $2, that's great. This skin right here really does look like it's perfectly fine to consider buying. You probably don't want to buy tons of them, but I mean, you could just go fully brave and just put down a $2.50 buy order if you really wanted to. But at the end of the day, look, listen, if you really do want to buy these, you could probably put down a $2.40 buy order and get them for 10 cents cheaper. Bit silly, but that's up to you. Anyway, yeah, if you wanted to buy this, looks perfectly fine. We'll take a look at the tier 3, they're both tier 3, chest plate, and pretty much the exact same thing. This is currently selling for $1.99 in the Rust store. There's a buy order right here at $1.99. So yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think you're probably fine to go ahead and make a purchase. Now, just remember the specific thing I mentioned. Maybe a little ranger might take his time to keep making these skins because, of course, you know, with all the bump mapping and the style that he has and whatnot, might take a while to make. Or maybe he just knows that it's probably better off to be patient. Just understand, you have to be a bit patient. This weekend, very likely, we will see the next core piece being submitted. All the better, but if we don't, please be patient. I still fully expect to see more. At the very least, you will see another piece being submitted. They did say, and with the amount of sales it's got so far, at the price they sell for, that is still very, very good. So just be patient. If you're impatient, you're not going to succeed very well. So yes, it does look like a good thing to buy, but if you have to wait 2 weeks, listen, you have to wait 2 weeks, that's fine. If we see the new pieces appear, there will be anticipation buys. If we do see it being accepted, you'll see the spike in demand, spike in price. Remember how Reptile Hunter went, and remember how well it succeeded. So, all the better, and with the support we see here, the demand that we see here, this really does look like it's going to turn into a pretty interesting collection. So, best of luck to you, Mr. Little Ranger, and Graham Crowan. Now we have the other skins to talk about. So this is the Infernal Door with only just under 800 requests to buy. And the buy orders for this $2.49 skin is only going up to about $1.30, and that's it. That is a fair bit awkward. The other awkward thing is there's like 26,000 of these that are bought. I do worry this is going to end up like the Sunken Door. And that's very disappointing to consider. Maybe things might work out for it in the long term. Probably. I find it very goofy to look at. Not to say it's a bad skin. I just say, look, it's melted cheese. Anyway, moving on. At the moment, doesn't seem to be very in demand, and it doesn't look like it's going to retain its value. So, if you want to do a buy order on this, that's fine. But if you actually wanted this, you could probably just put down a $1.50 buy order. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you pick it up at that price. Save yourself about $1 there. Then we have the likes of the Smouldering Sleeping Bag, slightly less amount of requests to buy, with buy orders only going up to $1.40. Oh dear. And that's me, I think. Yeah, that's on the other account. I might remove that. If there's no interest, yeah, okay, right. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I mean, that's what it is for some of these skins. That's exactly what happens. So, doesn't look like that's going to retain its value, does it? But in the long term, would it? It didn't sell that much. It only did like 16,000 sales. Could we confirm that? I mean, it probably will end up at 16,000 sales. So, hey, maybe it will do a 180. You've got to realise this. Some lower in-demand skins could easily turn around and be quite profitable in the future. So, we shall see. Then over here, we have even less requests to buy. Is that me? Oh, that might be me. I might need to remove my pile. No, that's not me. Surely not. That I wouldn't. No, I think I'm $1. I don't know. I will have to figure it. No, I am. I did. In my currency, 65 and 78, I think, which is equal to $1. So I don't know who this is, but I mean, sure. This doesn't look like it's going to retain its $2.49 price. You could probably put down like a $1.50 buy order. Wouldn't be surprised in the slightest if you buy some at some point. It's the weapon itself rather than the skin. Will we see some more banana skins out of this? I feel confident we will, but MP5s aren't what it is. People want super, in demand for banana MP5 skins at the moment. So, yeah, awkward. El Diablo Wooden Door. This has the lowest amount of requests to buy out of all the skins, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's going to retain its $2.49 pricing, with loads of buy orders below $1. That is awkward. That is Wooden Door skins. I gave you the warning. It is what it is. So, I don't think this is going to be the last El Diablo skin. I think we will be seeing some more deplorables. It does look cool. It's a very cool looking design for a glow-in-the-dark design. I would like to see some sheet metal doors, armoured doors, double doors, garage doors. There's plenty of stuff to do there, Mr. Eros, so let's see what you make next. Could that help out the likes of this wooden door? Potentially, but still, wooden doors tend to suffer anyway. It is unfortunate. So those are all the abnormal skins. Not too much to talk about them. Only these two skins look perfectly fine to go ahead and buy if you really want to. So if you're watching this the next day on the Thursday, you probably want to make sure that you actually go and do a purchase if you're wanting to, because it's definitely going to be an early restore rotation tomorrow. Do be aware of that. Do be aware of that. Because it's going to be an update tomorrow. We have the likes of the Brick DLC and various little things such as the emojis. Yes, the little emojis are going to be in the chat now from now on. And some fixes and whatnot. Tomorrow, will we see the peak player count from last month being beaten? Will we have more than 182,000 people playing? All the kids in the Western world now have summer holidays, summer vacation. They're out of school. Will we beat last month's peak player count? It's definitely something I'll be keeping an eye on. And with that, that's basically it. We already talked earlier about what we might want to expect, so if you've just got to this bit in the video and you haven't seen that, look at the chapters in the video, look at the description, you'll see all there. But the main thing is, in terms of the clothing and whatnot, I'm not 100% sure what likely will be picked. We might have a week where we don't have any clothing. Or we might see a week where we have an early pick for the likes of the pirate jacket, for example. Wouldn't be surprised by that. So, yeah, we might see some more early picks like we have previously in the past few weeks. We might see a late pick again, because last week's last roster rotation had a late pick. There's not a lot to... I don't know how to say it. There's not a lot that we're invested into that we're keeping an eye on in terms of clothing and armour. But hey, some of you might be invested into the likes of the Concentric. Some of you might be invested into the likes of Space Foil. Ooh, maybe some of you are invested into Reptile Hunter. That'd be nice. Maybe we'll see something brand new being accepted. I have no idea. Maybe it'll end up being for cosplay. So all we can do really is just sit and wait. What's going to happen? We don't know. But I know for sure we're going to see some brick-themed skins accepted tomorrow. 3 or 4, I reckon. 3 or 4. And what's on the front page right now? The answer is, it's whiteout. Oh, look, corrugated steel face mask. Was that getting pumped? I think it was. I had some. I sold some. I made some very nice profit. Looks like this was pumped, and now the pumpers have disappeared. They are no longer supporting it. The price is going down. How unfortunate. So, it is what it is. So, yeah. That's what happens to manipulated skins that are no longer supported. All right, cool. So, with that, thank thank you very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And if you've got the time, please consider watching the likes of my Rust Workshop skin checks to be aware of all the new potential skin continuations. My Rust Complete the Sets in 2023 video, because I make considerations for what might be perfectly reasonable candidates for the September Complete the Sets, if we do have it. I think we will. And of course, if you're worried about the Pirate Collection, give this a good watch. I do talk about the long term, I talk about the gloves, I talk about the other skins that we've already had accepted, and talking about the potential problems with oversaturation. It's nice and insightful, it's all there for you. Give it a good watch, and yeah, that's basically it. So with that, thank you for watching, and yep, see ya, bye.